This? Hong Yushin felt a throbbing pain in his head. In front of him lay the 7 dead bodies of the 7 stars. It was the Hao clan who took control over the night. Exactly 7 people. All of them were killed by Pyowool except for one. I didn't expect 7 people to be killed in one night. If it was 7 stars, they were warriors who were known in Hunan province. There is a reason why the group with only 7 members had gained such a high reputation among the prominent sections. In particular, Sa Hyokyung, the leader figure, possessed excellent judgment as well as strong martial arts. The fact that he was beaten without using much effort was proof that Pyowool's martial arts prowess were excellent. Even if you are good, someone else would be better. What is this? Jianghu's history has proven it so far. A person who is too good always blows the wind of change to a strong player. Even if they don't want to. Pyowool was also in a similar situation. I need to know more about that guy. Hong Yushin, who had organized his thoughts, gestured to the warriors of the Hao clan who were waiting. Then, the warriors ran all at once and took the bodies of the warriors of the 7 stars. They were not ordinary warriors. They were more like scholars than a man of arms. A scholar who has mastered martial arts. From now on, they will thoroughly analyze and dig up the bodies of 7 stars to find out about the martial arts Pyowool uses. There is no way to accurately find out his martial arts, but still, it was already a great success to figure out the weapons he used through the scars. In this way, the Hao clan could still accumulate information on those who could be a threat to Jianghu. We need to gather as much information as possible since he's still in Sichuan. It will be too late when he goes out. Hong Yushin's eyes became cold. He knew how strong he was because he had personally experienced the power of Pyowool. In a face-to-face confrontation, he may be inferior to the 2 factions, 3 clans, 3 packs and 3 manners. But Pyowool is an assassin. Although he is learning strong martial arts, he did not abandon his identity as an assassin. That meant he could sneak attack at any time. He had no guilt nor shame. If a master like Pyowool made up his mind and tried to sneak attack, even the best master of Jianghu would inevitably be in danger. In a sense, he is a more lethal warrior than any other expert of Jianghu. Pyowool was an entirely new kind of threat that had never existed before. So Hong Yushin was paying close attention to Pyowool. Hong Yushin asked his subordinate who was next to him. What about him? He's in the workshop. A workshop? It's a workshop run by a descendant of the Tang family. Have you figured out their relationship? We're trying to figure out how such a strong bond between the 2 of them came about. Don't miss anything about him. We won't be able to control him, but the more information we can gather, the higher the price we can sell it for. All right. After replying, the subordinate withdrew. Hong Yushin, who was left alone, sighed. Hugh. Asterisk. Tang Sochu asked Pyowool. So, you're saying that a person named Fengzhen took Xinwu in order to protect him? Do you think his words are true, brother? It didn't seem like a lie. Who? Tang Sochu heaved a deep sigh. Last night, Chengdu was turned upside down again. A third of the slum was burnt down by the fire that Yo Suliang had set, so Chengdu was swept away in great chaos. Thousands of people have lost their homes and are left wandering the streets. The public sentiment, which had barely been managed, became ferocious again, and the atmosphere on the streets was more serious than ever. All of this was due to what the 7 stars did, and the reason they did this to Chengdu was to catch Nam Xinwu. What kind of secret did that kid have that made him the target of such big names? Even more, for Fengzhen. You know about Fengzhen? How can I not know? He is an absolute powerhouse who stands shoulder to shoulder with the masters of 2 factions, 3 clans, 3 packs and 3 manners. Even children know that fact. Tell me more. What appeared on Pyowool's face was more than just curiosity. He knew very little about Jianghu. His knowledge was limited to Sichuan province, and even that was only fragmentary. He was so focused on revenge that he didn't have much interest in Jianhu's general information, but now has to change his ways. I don't know much either. It's the same as what everyone else knows. Just tell me what you know. Where should I start? Oh. The two factions are undoubtedly the strongest sects of Jianhu, but in reality, both have just been recently established within the last 100 years. It's just that the achievements left by their first sect leaders were so great that they are considered as the strongest sections. So what are their names? Guangmuman and Qianmujang. Guangmuman is a sect created by Li Guak, who ended the War of the Demons and Heavens. While Qianmujang is the sect that has Zhang Chanhua as their sect leader. Zhang Chanhua is also the one who destroyed the Celestial Demon Union. Guangmuman became the strongest power in Jianhu because of the halo of Li Guak, while Qianmujang became the strongest power by attracting many people with its enormous financial power. It is said that the current sect leader of Guangmuman is Li Chong, the son of Li Guak, and for Qianmujang it is Zhang Chanhua. The Guangmuman is made up of purely martial artists, while Qianmujang is a combination of the aristocrats and martial artists. In terms of force alone, Guangmuman was far stronger, but if money and power were taken into consideration, the Qianmujang was no less powerful. The three clans following the two factions were the traditional sects, the Shaolin Temple, Wudong sect, and the Mount Hua sect. They, who had been in seclusion for a long time, opened their door starting from the War of the Demons and Heavens and jumped back into the affairs of Jianhu again. Since they made a big contribution during the War of the Demons and Heavens, their names became widely known for their strong traditional martial arts. The three packs is a term used by combining the three sects, Heavenly Dragon Valley, Military Sword, and Tiansong Defense. Prior to the War of the Demons and Heaven, the superpowers were called the 10 packs since they ruled in 10 equal parts, but later on only 3 of them survived, so they became the 3 packs. The 3 manors, as the name suggests, are 3 manor houses, which were created after the War of the Demons and Heavens, and were said to have stored up great power compared to their short history. They are called New Moon Village, Spirit Sword Village, and Rain Mountain Manor, respectively. These 11 sects were the main pillars of the current Jianhu. Although Guangmuman and Qianmujang possessed the most superior power, the power and influence of the rest of the sects was by no means small. In this way, the 11 sects achieved an exquisite balance of power, and the peace of Jianhu was maintained. The sect leaders of the 11 sects can be said to be the rulers of Jianhu. But there are also those who do not belong to any sect, but are not in any way inferior to the sect leaders of those 11 factions with their personal force alone. They are called the 8 constellations and 3 saints. I don't know much about the 8 constellations, so ask someone else. What about the 3 saints? They are the most powerful warriors known for their own field, such as Muzan Yongbal, Han Yuqian, and Fengzhen. If you say it like that, then you're talking about at least 20 martial artists, like Fengzhen. The sect leaders of the 11 factions, the 8 members of the 8 constellations, and the 3 members of the 3 saints. There were 22 in total. It is said that there are as many warriors as a grain of sand in Jianhu, so if you add other unknown martial artists, there will be much more than that. Pilwul realized once again how big Jianhu was. After completing his revenge, he was just like a frog in a well, settling in Sichuan. Now I'm coming to my senses. The meeting with Fengzhen awakened his awareness. Jianhu was never a green place. Today he survived, but tomorrow he could be a cold corpse like the warriors of the 7 stars. I have to be stronger. In order to survive in this hellish place, he needed to be stronger and more tenacious. Pilwul rose and said, I will definitely return to you the kid named Xinwu. You don't have to. Why? It was a child I could not keep for long. It would be better for the child to be protected by Fengzhen. Tang Sochu was more emotional than he expected. He then apologized. I'm sorry. I made you suffer because of me. Thanks to you, I realized something good too. That's a relief. Yeah. I had a great experience. Pilwul nodded, with his eyes colder than ever. The loss of Nam Xinwu to Fengzhen was a great shock to Pilwul. I won't let anything be taken from me next time. The feeling of being deprived of one's own was dirtier than he thought. Whether it is tangible or intangible. After revenge, it felt like my heart, which had loosened a little, was tightened again. Pilwul said his goodbye to Tang Sochu and went outside. He might have left the workshop, which was scorching hot, but he didn't feel refreshed at all. The memories of the previous day still made him uneasy. A day has already passed, but the memories of being blocked by Fengzhen continued to haunt him. Others may call it a useless obsession, but for Pilwul, it was a matter of survival. Pilwul did not turn over even the smallest things. He had to solve even the smallest problems because the environment he was exposed to for the longest time had required him to. That was the only way he could have survived back then. Everything is exposed now. I must have my own hiding place. While it is convenient for him to stay in a guest house, his every move becomes exposed to the eyes of other people. Even now, he could feel the gaze of the members of the Hao clan and other warriors from afar. Since Pilwul's actions are exposed, many warriors could naturally understand his actions. Even now, his route will be relayed to the Hao clan in real time. He couldn't do anything like this. He had to hide himself for now. To do that, he had to create and prepare a new hiding place. A huge amount of money was needed to establish a hiding place. It was not difficult to raise money. If he can oppress the sect or the upper families in Chengdu, they will definitely pay him a GOL, but that was not how Pilwul does things. Furthermore, if he receives money from them, the flow of money will be tracked. He needed money that the world didn't know about. After thinking for a moment, Pilwul left Chengdu and started walking without hesitation. He walked for 3 days and 3 nights. Pilwul had a definite destination he needed to reach. The problem was that he didn't know the exact way to his destination. He only went to that place once, and it was in a situation where he could not see the outside scenery at all, because he was loaded in a wagon. It was like looking for an oasis in the desert without a map. The only thing he could trust was his senses. Pilwul moved, sniffing and smelling the moisture in the air. It's been a long time, but he still has the memories of that time vividly. The microsensory ability that blossomed in the underground cave made it possible. Pilwul followed the faint traces like a wild dog chasing its prey. And after 3 days, he was finally able to arrive at his desired destination. A small manor surrounded by tall walls. On the old signboard, 3 letters were written, Clearwind Manor. As it had been abandoned for a long time, he didn't feel any presence in the Clearwind Manor. Creak. Rusty hinges screamed as Pilwul opened the door and entered. The appearance inside the Clearwind Manor was even more serious. Traces of people looting were evident as they knew it was an abandoned place. Doors and furniture were broken, and anything that could be money had disappeared. Pilwul looked around the Clearwind Manor with a slight frown. The Clearwind Manor was one of the bases of the Blood Shadow Group. After Pilwul and the children came out of the underground cave, the first place they arrived was the Clearwind Manor. It was still in his memory because this was where he took a bath and ate proper food for the first time. The Clearwind Manor was abandoned after the Blood Shadow Group was annihilated by the Amei sect. When there was no one to manage and no one to visit for a long time, the people who lived nearby were the first to notice that it was abandoned, and so they stole all the things that could be used for money. Although the appearance has changed a lot, Pilwul is convinced that this is the place where he had stayed before. After staying here for a few days, he definitely remembered that he was immediately sent to the killing of Wu Gunsang. Piawal moved to the Great Moon Hall, the largest hall in Clearwind Manor. The Great Moon Hall was the residence of Gu Juyang, the captain of the Blood Shadow Group. The Great Moon Hall was also thoroughly looted. Everything disappeared without leaving anything that could be used for money, let alone furniture. Pilwul didn't even care about the lost wealth. He didn't even think those things would still exist. Pilwul looked at Gu Juyang's residence. The residence of Gu Juyang, the head of the Blood Shadow Group, was thoroughly destroyed. It's because people have thoroughly searched this place. As it is the largest pavilion, people thought that there would be a lot of valuable items left. It was the same with Pilwul. But the things Pyeongwoo valued were different from those other people. Pyeongwoo lay on the broken bed of the Gujuyong and stared at the ceiling. He began to think from the shoes of Gujuyong, where would I hide my most precious object? It should be somewhere within reach. A place that people can't easily think of even though it's in plain sight. Suddenly, Pyeongwoo noticed a part of the ceiling with a different pattern. Pyeongwoo flew to the ceiling and touched the parts with different patterns with his hands. Then, the cover of the handheld part fell off and an empty space appeared. Pyeongwoo hung from the ceiling and searched through the empty space. Then there was an object that he could hold in his hand. Pyeongwoo landed on the floor holding the object in his hand. What he held in his hand was a booklet wrapped in wax paper. Pyeongwoo carefully unfolded the wax paper, revealing a yellow booklet. The untitled booklet smelled of old paper. Pyeongwoo carefully opened the booklet. Pararak. A smile appeared on Pyeongwoo's lips as he turned the booklet. I knew it,